G'day Joe, I'm sorry about how long it took to get this video organised for you mate, but two things, I wasn't overly clear on what exactly you were looking for and you caught me at one absolute hell time of year, happens twice a year, so sorry about the delay. Look, my understanding is you want to know how to make Kontakt and the Fantom interact with each other, in particular for live work, sorry about that, with a mix of Fantom sounds and Kontakt sounds. Let's start just with Kontakt. I'm avoiding using banks at this stage and I've just set up a multi here with a few sounds, and the only thing I've done is set a Midi channel for each multi. In this case I've set it here to channel 1, sorry, not for each multi, for each item in the rack. This instrument's on channel 2, this one on 3, this one on 4, this one on 5. Now the first thing I like to do is make sure that I'm actually getting Kontakt triggered by my Fantom, and the way I would like to do that is to press my single mode button, go up the top here to the internal area and switch it to external, and then make sure I've got no send here. And at this point I know I'm not actually triggering any sounds from inside the Fantom. And what I'm doing for this recording is that every sound you're hearing except my voice is coming out the 1/4 inch jacks at the back of the Fantom. So I'm sending the Kontakt sounds into the Fantom through the mix in. As I hold down shift and press mix in, you can see it's on the USB audio there. So that sound's coming out of the back of the Fantom and straight into a Zoom field recorder. And that's how Kontakt's being recorded now. In addition, the internal Fantom sounds obviously come out of those jacks as well. So when I hit it, I can see instrument 1's working. Now before we get into the live mode, one kind of cool thing if you want to quickly access a whole bunch of Kontakt sounds on stage with your Fantom is to set up a rack with anything up to say 16, because you've got 16 pads on the Fantom, 16 different MIDI channels. Put your pad mode into MIDI transmit switch, which is pad 10, and now here when I press different pads I'm transmitting on that channel. So if I press 1, the instrument that I've got lined up on channel 1 is triggering. If I switch over to pad 2, a bit loud isn't it? Well, we can actually change that, probably from the Fantom too, but we'll do that later on. 3, 4, don't know why I've got that in there, and 5 is the grandeur. Ooh, I do love those sounds. So if I wanted to, I could layer a couple of those together. Let's try the piano and the... And you can see here on the Kontakt screen that that's triggering both the piano on channel 5 and the singing lead on channel 3, simply because those are the pads that are lit up. So that will at least give you the layering aspect. If I put them all on, sounds disgusting, but you get the idea. So let's go back to 1. Now let's get into what you want to do, and that is to mix some Fantom sounds in with this. And in order to do that, I will go into live mode with the live button here, and I'll quickly try and dial up one that I've got sort of ready for us to play with. It's in around here somewhere. There we go. Now, we're all used to seeing this screen. You can set up your splits and layers, and it's all triggering internal sounds off the Fantom. You wanted a bass sound, so I'll go to part 1 and find a bass sound. Into my patch list, down to my synth bass, and find something. Now you'll notice that I'm still hearing Kontakt trigger, so I'm just going to quickly mute that. Obviously I could have turned off the MIDI transmit as well, but we'll need it later, so I didn't. I'm not really a fan of a lot of these. That'll do, we'll use that. Now let's say I only want that to play up to this C here, this C below middle C. I'll simply go to its highest note, press shift, and bingo, it instantly changes by holding down shift and pressing the key. Well, that's well and good, but look what happens. It's still playing up high. The reason for that is we haven't turned on its keyboard switch here. Now that it's on, it obeys the instructions you've given about the keyboard split. Okay, now the fun part comes when we go beyond this area that a lot of us don't even look at. And as I go down 1 past part 8, we start to get our external MIDI channels. And what do you know? Part 1 should trigger if I get rid of these keyboard switches for a moment. By the way, when no keyboard switches are turned on, it's whatever one of these you happen to be on that you're playing. So if I go to 1, make sure I'm actually transmitting MIDI. Well, I've still got it muted, that's the problem. It's late at night, I had 3 muck-ups taking this video. There we have Kontakt being triggered in live mode. If I move down to the second, oh sorry, I've got to get rid of that keyboard switch. Again. If I want that and that. In addition, I actually only want all of these sounds to have a low note of this low C sharp, so let's just do that. There we go. Oh, the piano, the piano I might actually do the whole keyboard, which is channel 5. Now you notice I haven't had to fill in anything here. If we were using program changes to dial up specific things in Kontakt, we would have to fill in a few values there. But the way we're doing it tonight, it's simply a case of whatever you've got in your rack is going to respond to these MIDI channels because you set them up here in your rack. So I'm sort of trying to avoid some of the complexities of Kontakt. So at this point, if I go back up and turn on that bass keyboard switch, get it? And up here, and if I wanted 3 parts, we could play with that. There's just a couple more things I want to show you in this mode that are quite fun. Again, it has to do with the pads. If I go into pad mode 13, which is part select, we're used to seeing 8 pads lit up. And when we choose any given spot, so I'll just come down here and turn off my little keyboard switches because I'm just going to deal with them individually for now. I can switch between them. So here's my bass sound. If I go to 2, and if I'd set these to other sounds I could just dial them up. But what happens is we don't get just 8 pads lit up. When I go beyond here, suddenly all 16 pads are lit up. And by flicking my particular anything up to 16 pads, I can go to any 16 of 16 instruments in a multi. So if I go 5, here's my grandeur piano. If I go 1, I don't know what I did there. So there's a bit of provision for single sound work as well.